What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Oh, I have an extra thing I want to add. I didn't add it to, because I want to get your honest reaction when I ask the question. It's funny.
Oh, to our notes.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of weekly news, so I figured I'll add it before I do.
Yeah, there really isn't a lot of weekly news.
No, and it's all about the same people. So then that way, I can do that, and then we can go into the recap.
All right.
And predictions. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Chicken in my teeth.
You never know what you're getting with us at the start, so.
Chicken in my teeth. That's what you're getting this week, guys.
Guess what? Okay. Episode 29. I didn't know the number.
Episode 29. We made it 29 episodes before
we're
we
one
had
more
a
from
new team winner this year.
29. It's
29
wild.
episodes. And that's
the streak is over.
That's 30 weeks because we had that 1 week we didn't record. That's 30 weeks of us recording a show that Red Bull has been the winner.
Now, granted, when we started recording, the season didn't start yet.
Correct.
But still.
But we only did.
It's been since Brazil last year that Red Bull has not lost. So. Yeah.
But we did what? How many episodes did we do before the season started?
Not a lot.
2?
Yeah. Not a lot.
We had the first race, the first couple episodes
pretty quick
before the first race, but we didn't have a lot.
No.
That's insane.
Yeah.
29 episodes.
29 episodes.
We'll get into that
before a non-Red Bull winner. Before a non-Max Verstappen winner. Do I look? I feel like I look hazy. Okay, hold on.
Hazy. Wipe.
That's better.
That is much better, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike. I don't know what was wrong with my camera. I felt like I was in a fog.
You got microfiber cloth and.
I know.
Give a little wipe down.
But yes, we as we've stated, we have a new winner. It's gonna be a hard episode.
It's gonna be a tough case. If you want me to flow through all this stuff this week, let me know. I understand this is a hard episode for you to get through today.
Okay. But yeah, so we're going to do our meme of the week, weekly news. Not a lot. I have a fun topic, as you heard me start the opening with. And then we're obviously going to recap Singapore and do our predictions for Japan, because we're team no sleep this weekend.
Team no sleep.
So it's either, I said, when the Flyers play on the West Coast, they're always Flyers after dark. It's F1 after dark.
F1 at night.
But when they're racing, it's not at night, so.
Oh, we should post that meme to our account. Meme? We should do I'm watching qualifying at night. I'm watching F1 at night.
Okay. I can make it.
F1 after dark. F1 underground after dark.
Yes.
Can the Twitter get a little explicit if it's F1 underground after dark?
Sure, why not? A little spicy.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Okay, starting off with our meme of the week. I, once again, as always, have two, but one of mine is a shameless plug for myself, so.
That's fine. That's okay. Do you want to go first or me?
You can go first. I'll add you to the...
Perfect.
Ooh, it said add to the stage. That was interesting.
Add to the stage. Interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
So, anybody who watched the race this week obviously knew the last 5 laps of the race were quite possibly the most 5 exciting laps we've had in Formula One this entire season. And that's because...
In the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, and that's because all the leaders, the top 4 people, were all within 1.7 seconds of each other, which is something we have not had yet this season.
Mm-mm.
And then we had George Russell crash and burn, and it's very sad to watch. I watched the radio call and the clip again of him crashing this weekend or today, and I was just hearing him scream no, and just you could feel the rage just building up inside of him, boil. I
got French. I got the Leclerc at the French GP flashbacks.
Yeah, it was kind of sad to watch. However,
Yeah.
it made this fantastic meme. Somebody on Google Earth
God bless you.
Somebody went to the location where he crashed on the track. This is that corner of the Singapore track, and put Russell's race win hopes and dreams. And this is so brutal, but so fucking funny at the same time. Like, because
so good.
The funny part is it gets funnier the more you think about it. Because somebody had to sit there, watch that crash, and then come up with the idea to be like, I'm going to go to Google Earth and make my own custom pin and put Russell's race win hopes and dreams here. Fucking hilarious. I think it's so funny. And it's making fun of somebody going through a rough thing, which is just the basis of any good meme. So that's my meme of the week.
He literally was wearing sunglasses during the post-race interview because he was crying. What the hell was that?
The fucking truck outside. Oh, we've never recorded with the windows open here. Just heads up to you and to anybody who listens. I live right next to the ambulance dispatch center. So
oh my God.
there is a fair chance we hear some ambulances in the background of this episode and future episodes.
I was trying to pull up the Paul Ricard circuit because someone did that for where Leclerc crashed last year at the Paul Ricard for the French GP. They literally put where he crashed, but I couldn't find it fast enough.
It's gotta become like a thing. Like anybody.
It has to be. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. No, not even a close race. Remember Japan last year when it was raining so hard? Nick Latifi went off the track and blamed it on like the track.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I miss him.
Can't believe he on a fucking track.
He like blamed it on some stupid excuse. People are like, that was classic. I do know if you look at Abu Dhabi's track, like on Google Map, like with the not the satellite version, or like you can actually see the Earth, you can see Seb's donuts from.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, you can see the tire marks. I think someone also labeled it as Seb's donuts. But yes,
that's good.
But yeah, I was just saying, George Russell was wearing sunglasses during post-race stuff last weekend because he was crying so much after. But he was so upset.
He probably was. I
don't blame him. I would be just as upset.
I'd be so mad.
He literally, someone has a video from like the stands right there, and he got out of the car and slammed his fist down, and then got off. And then there's another video of him walking back. I don't know where his race shoes went, but he took off his race shoes. He has his helmet on still, one hand on his hip, and he's just strutting through back to the back. I'm like, George Russell, that's the most George Russell way to...
that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Me. So this was retweeted by the F1 troll account. As we all know, there was plenty of lizards during FP1. Yes. Everyone, I tweeted, we got groundhogs during the Canadian GP. We got lizards during the Singapore GP. So much for the fact that there was plenty of yellow flags. I could have choose like 12 moments from this. The radio messages between Max Verstappen and GP were so good because years ago he said, I just think I saw Godzilla on the track. And they said Godzilla had a baby. But then he came to know someone killed one of the lizards. Someone ran over a lizard. For a while, it's like, who the hell killed the lizard? You found out it was Fernando Alonso. So this is a video with the lizard smoking a cigarette with a drink. And it says, Singapore lizard in heaven watching Alonso's terrible race. Because as we all know, he did not do well.
No, he did not. He was another guy that I felt really bad for. That I was watching the race, and I tweeted it out from our account. So I was like, Fernando's day is just getting worse and worse. Which there's a conspiracy theory I saw today from another F1 podcast that I'll bring up. Oh boy!
But yes,
everybody get your tinfoil hats.
Did you see the F1 account literally for Aston Martin for the team for the race day? It just had Fernando Alonso. They like took away Lance Stroll.
Why? He was only out for
the race.
Yeah, it's not like he.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gone.
I don't know. But yes, okay. My shameless. So yes, that's for the lizard. Say, we need a new stuffed animal in the back for the lizard because the poor lizard
I
got
gotta go buy a lizard.
squished. Thank you. My next one is a shameless plug to this TikTok I made that blew up so quick. Let me play it. So this video, Carlos Sainz, we all know that it looks like sometimes he's rebooting when he looks off into space like that. He apparently sees all of these and loves them. So I put when you're halfway around the world and don't know if you turn the stove off, because it literally looks like he had something flash before his eyes.
Something,
and doesn't know.
yes.
What?
He thought of or saw something in his memories that he was like, "Oh shit!"
Like right there.
Yeah.
He's just like, what? What's happening? Meanwhile, Charlotte Leclerc, he doesn't even care. But yeah, that people, that blew up like crazy fast. Like when I mean like oddly fast. I've never had something blow up that fast in my entire life on TikTok, but it was a good one.
TikTok famous.
But yes, TikTok famous. To the point Jenna even saw it and was like, "Not you going viral." I said, "I try." She goes, "But it's very relatable." I said, "I know." People were tagging him because now it's a known thing that he sees those memes and loves them.
That's good.
Yeah,
I would love if he. I would love to know
if he
reposted
reposted it
one day or something. Yeah,
I know I'm gonna go through all the likes. If he like reposted it one day, I would scream. I would become a Carlos Sainz fan for one day. For one day, I'd say.
Like, no, hold on. We need like breaking news ticker tape at the bottom going right now. Like, no. Casey Liberatore betrays Charles Leclerc. Cold-blooded stabs him in the back and switches sides to Carlos Sainz.
Never. I will never switch sides for Carlos Sainz. I mean, no. Absolutely not. No. Moving on to the news of the week. Like I said, there's not a lot. Hold on, let me unfavorite this meme of the lizard.
Oh, that's so good. Get that photo like framed of that lizard.
Oh, that lizard, I know. So yes, some news.
Right there.
Yeah, I am sure Ange would love that.
She'll love it.
Some news that broke out today, kind of. This first started that Williams is going to keep Logan Sargent. So I saw first. Their consensus is that it's Sargent's seat to lose. But then it came out a little bit later that Felipe Drugovich, Aston Martin's reserve driver, has reportedly been negotiating for weeks with Williams.
Oh.
It says Logan Sargent's performance so far in 2023 means the door to an F1 seat could slowly be opening for the Brazilian Formula 2 champion. Drugovich, this was just recently, he declined an IndyCar seat earlier this year, Drugovich.
Oh.
He could have the chance to go to Indy and declined. And he was... When did Lance Stroll get out earlier? What was the last race? Monza? He tested during Monza, Felipe Drugovich in Lance Stroll's car, and then they were talking to him after, and you could tell they were trying to get info about what's going to happen, and he wasn't giving much for anything. So
right.
So apparently Logan Sargent is going to have a seat, but it also could be.
It sounds like
Felipe Drugovich.
It sounds like they're like, giving him confidence going into next year of just like, you will be driving again, but they're saying like pretty much like based on how you do next year, like better way to say this actually is we'll be watching next year is essentially what they're saying. Like, hey, you're good for this year, keep going, keep learning, but just to let you know next year, like we will be watching,
Yeah, like a Nick DeVries thing. They're like exactly. They could get rid of him halfway through. I mean, it's not like Logan's crashed. He's had some bad luck, but it's not like he's not good. That was the controversy when he signed with Williams. He wasn't good in F2 and F3. He wasn't like Oscar Piastri who won everything. He wasn't Liam Lawson who won everything. It's like it didn't make sense. I think people just said that because it was an American driver. That's why they were bringing
I'm sure that definitely played into it. And Williams wanted to be part of maybe Williams's risk was, okay, let's say we can nurture him a little bit more to get a little bit more experience. We'll then be known as a team that has the one and only good American, like not the one and only, but like the current American driver who's also good,
Yeah.
like, because that would be huge for the team if he started winning. Like, let's just like throw that wild theoretical out there. He started winning. Williams loves that. It's because he's American.
100%. Yo, yeah.
Like,
I mean, but also when you have Alex Albon, who is way outperforming you each week.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's not gonna.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't be shocked if next year is the just, hey, we're watching you, just to let you know.
Time is almost up. I mean, maybe what's his name? Logan Sargent goes to Indy. I mean, there's plenty of American Indian drivers, but maybe he goes there. You never know. But yes, then moving on to some more reserve drivers. Well, he's not even. Yeah, technically he's a reserve driver. First, it said someone posted today that Liam Lawson most likely will be racing for in Qatar. That they're looking to have Ricardo back for Austin GP, which is after Qatar. So
that makes sense. I mean, I think from a business move on AlphaTauri's part, that I feel like that makes the most sense.
Did you see the pictures of? Because Daniel Ricciardo was in the paddock this weekend doing engineering stuff. Did you see there was a picture of his hand with the stitches. They were disgusting. Maybe don't look at them.
I don't look at that.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show that Lance Stroll came back too fast. That they're not letting Daniel Ricciardo back, and Daniel Ricciardo has one hand instead of two.
I agree. Definitely came back too fast. Besides that, we'll talk about Liam Lawson later on because he was brilliant this weekend. But he is still expected to be on the sidelines in 2024. They will want to keep it Yuki and Daniel Ricciardo. Why? So what the hell? What else does Liam Lawson have to do to get a permanent seat? He's not going to beat Max Verstappen with that damn AlphaTauri. No, I don't blame AlphaTauri for making that move, like making that decision of Daniel Ricciardo is still going to be driving next year. However, I would not be shocked if Liam jumps ship to somewhere else now.
Yeah, so people were saying if this was before the Felipe Drugovich rumors came out, people were saying, what if he went there to Williams? And I said, you have two ex-Red Bull drivers in the Mercedes junior team. Christian Horner would love that.
Yeah, that is, I mean, yeah, you can't, I understand AlphaTauri's decision of, hey, we're going to stick with Yuki, we're going to stick with Ricardo, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Yes, but, you can't, then as, an AlphaTauri employee, you can't be shocked one day if you open up Twitter and you're like, oh, Liam Lawson signed with,
He's going.
He's going to Mercedes, or not Mercedes. He's going to Williams, or he's going to, Alfa Romeo, stuff like that. Because you can't be shocked by that.
He's good. I mean, Liam Lawson is not a Nick DeVries. He's good.
he has proven on multiple occasions now, this weekend included, that he has the right stuff for this sport, and he has
to get the permanent seat.
Yes, he has the makings to be a good F1 driver. Do I think he's going to be like Max Verstappen level? No. Do I think he could be I don't even know who to compare it to, but I think he would be an upper to midfield driver. That's what I think he would be, is an upper to midfield driver.
Well, let's think. I know they were rivals during the junior series. Because him and Oscar Piastri went head to head a lot, and I think they were the big battles. So those two, they're the future of I feel like race winners within the sport.
That would be great to watch them battle.
You have an Australian and a New Zealander, however a Kiwi. A Kiwi coming. I just do feel bad for the kid. I mean, I was impressed when he had 24 hours notice to jump in that car and do well.
Yeah.
And then just week after week, he gets better and better. So
he's starting to creep up there and everything, and just ink just his name on different score, scores and finish and places and everything. And it's just like, you're proving that you can do this,
Yeah. Who was driver of the day?
I think it was Liam Lawson.
I would hope so.
I thought I heard them say right at the end of the broadcast, Liam Lawson is driver of the day.
Oh, no, it was Carlos Sainz.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but Liam Lawson deserved it. He ended in the points.
He ended in the points, and can we jump right into recap?
No, I'm not ready yet. I have other stuff I'm going to talk about. I forgot one other thing, and then that we can start with them. But this is going off of last week and the comments made by everyone's favorite Helmut Marko. So this came out. I sent you this tweet that apparently Helmut Marko received a written warning from the FIA for his comments against Checo. And he's also been reminded of his responsibility as a public figure in motorsport in line with the FIA Code of Ethics, which, about time. I also saw, I want to know why he's the only driver being asked besides Red Bull. I understand why, but it's unfortunate that we have to assume this. I think it was Ted Kravitz asked Lewis Hamilton about it. And racism within the sport and stuff still. And Lewis's answer was, I posted his whole answer on Instagram. His answer is very well put together. But you can even see when he first gets asked, you can see the look in his face why am I being asked? Wow. Did you ask any other driver? Yeah. But yes, unfortunately, we all know why. But yeah, I wanted to ask that first. Okay, before the recap, fun topic. I have some responses. Have you seen that trend about asking if Ange asked you how often you think of the Roman Empire?
Yes, 3 to 5 times a week.
Do you actually really think about the Roman Empire 3 to 5 times
Sometimes.
a week? Okay, so I posted, out of all the current drivers on the grid, who do you think thinks about the Roman Empire the most / the least? So I have a response from Mark, and then I have my own response. I did post it on Instagram.
Do you want my response first? Is that what you're asking me? Or
do you want me to give you Mark's first? I don't care. Or do you want me to give you mine?
No, let me do what? Yeah, let me hear yours. Let me hear both of yours.
Okay, so Mark said Fernando as the most and Yuki as the least.
Okay.
I said it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I said, I feel like both George and Max could think about it a lot. I just have a feeling George Russell is just George Russell. Max Verstappen strikes me up as that person that probably knows random trivia question answers. I don't know why, but he does. Yeah. And then I put, this is a knack at the U.S. school system. I said Logan Pye doesn't at all.
That's yes. Yeah, probably the least bit. All right, if I had to choose, I'm gonna go the opposite of you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Max thinks about them the least. Because I don't think anything else goes through that man's mind other than Formula One.
Okay.
I don't think he thinks about anything else. If I'm going to choose somebody who thinks about it the most.
Current drivers on the grid.
I'm thinking who has to think about it the most. I want to say Lando Norris.
Why?
I just feel because he's a kid. He's my age.
Mm-hmm.
He is just this goofball kid. So I can 100% see him. Even if he's lying or not. You know what? This is a better answer actually. Whether he's telling the truth or not, I could see somebody saying to him, "How often do you think about the Roman Empire?" And he just immediately goes, "All day, every day."
Yeah,
I can completely see him buying into it, just being all day, every day. It's the only thing that I think about.
He's also definitely seen all the videos.
Yes. If I'm going to give you an honest answer, I do have to agree with Mark. Fernando Alonso feels like he does a lot. Yeah.
Well, I also, if Sebastian Vettel was still on the grid, I would set him. He strikes me as someone that probably thinks about
That's
type of
true.
that type of stuff.
You also got to think like who's like a history nut. Like,
well, that's why I said Max Verstappen, because apparently he's a geography nut. If you
really?
He's good with world flags. Apparently, when he was a kid, he had a poster of all the world flags in a bedroom wall. He knows them all. And then if you watch the most recent Girl the Grid video, they kind of post landmarks in which country. He does it in a minute.
Oh, maybe he is a geography nut.
That's why I said he just strikes me. But also because he like Daniel Ricciardo, thinking about it a lot.
I could see.
I don't know what goes on in his mind.
But I feel like he would be the same energy as Lando of just like, I'm going to give you an answer regardless of what it is, and that answer is going to be all day, every day. Just for like the joke, you know? That's what I'm saying. Like, even if they're lying or not, I could see those two without hesitation before the question's even done being asked, being like all day, every day. Like,
yeah. I can also see Charles Leclerc not thinking about it. That mind
thinks about when his eyes go wide. Maybe that's what.
Maybe it's the Roman Empire. Oh my god, it totally is. So he thinks about it like 12 times a day.
Yeah,
because he goes like that all the time. I just think Charles Leclerc, there's too much like creative stuff in his mind that he has no idea. He's not thinking about that. He's thinking about playing the piano.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's taking inspiration from
the Roman Empire.
Romans.
Okay. But yes, that was my fun little.
They had a pretty darn big empire. It was.
They did.
Pretty expansive.
It was too relevant to not ask about. I've seen it everywhere, so I hope one of the teams asks the drivers that question. Like just someone do that on TikTok.
Just think about Nero burning down the city all the time. Like, why did he do that? Why did he just sit there and let his city burn down? This is all factual, too. Like,
I know!
Nero was the emperor at one point, and the city burnt down, and there's a lot of rumors and conspiracies flying around that he started it, and then he just sat there and let it happen.
He started it. He's an arson.
Apparently. Well, he's the emperor. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
True. This is okay. Before we go off on the Roman Empire even more and what Owen thinks about.
Don't even get me started on the Greek gods, first of all.
Oh, no, that's a good one. We could go on the whole podcast about that.
I love all that shit. I think that's the coolest thing.
We could do anything history related and we could probably go off. So
yeah. History with Owen is no longer going to be Formula 1 history with Owen.
History.
It's literally just going to be history with Owen.
Yeah. Fun fact. Okay.
Episode 1, Emperor Nero.
Kyle, you need a new show?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on
to
the Singapore GP, aka the Lizard GP.
The Lizard GP, the Godzilla GP.
The Godzilla GP, aka I don't know if you heard that.
AKA V Race.
AKA the Red Bull streak is over. And it's about time. It was nice. It was nice to see.
Yes.
We can start with Red Bull. Because obviously that's probably the biggest surprise of the weekend. I mean, last week it was coming out that Charles Leclerc was going to be the Ferrari that was going to be the one to look at, to be scared of, because he loves that track. Right. But Red Bull the whole weekend was just not there. They just weren't consistent. That was apparently they want to know if it was a track related issue. Like, obviously if they keep going for this weekend, is it going to be just as bad? But I don't think so.
I will be honest, there's part of me that hopes it does keep going, because I was locked into that race by the end of it. What was it? 62 laps?
Lap 1.
Lap 40. Lap 40 and on. I was
Yeah.
like, this is anybody's race, and this is fantastic. Like,
It was
and I
anybody's.
was dialed into it, and it's just like, not that I'm sitting here and saying
Listening.
that this entire season has been boring and everything, which there have been some races where it's like, all right, I'm tired of this 20-second gap, but like, I'm sitting there and you just heard Crofty and the other announcers always just saying like, the top 5 cars are within one and a half second of each other. The top 5 cars are in 1.7 seconds of each other. Lando Norris has got DRS on Carlos Sainz, and I was like, this is what I miss. Like, this is what
that was F1.
Yeah, I was like, this
That
is
was
what
F1.
I've been craving for this entire season. I'm not gonna say years, because like, for the entire season, this is what we've wanted, and it was such a beautiful glimpse of it, and it was everything that happened to give us that race. Like, we've been asking for this race for so long, and the race lived up to the hype. The race lived up to this idea of there's going to be that one race where Max and Checo aren't winning it. What's it going to be like? What's going to happen? But like, all this stuff. And it fucking lived up to it. It was
and it wasn't even
fantastic.
like they were having, it wasn't even like they were having, like, it's not like their cars broke down. They just did not have the pace.
Something happened in the week between Singapore and the
technical directive went into place. They said it wasn't going to bother them. I think they shot themselves in the foot.
I mean, it was so much fun to watch, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, and I was like, this is fucking fantastic. Like,
and it wasn't even like you didn't have, like, you just didn't have a Red Bull winner. There was no Red Bull on the podium at all. Like, nothing. They were not there.
I tweeted this from our account, and it's on a bit more of a serious note than it is like, oh my God, look at us, we finally have our non-Red Bull thing. I said, it's gotta, as a driver on the grid, you have to feel somewhat relieved and happy that it's not Red Bull on the grid, obviously, because they've been winning so much, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it almost serves as like a reminder of like, okay, it can be done. Like, Red Bull can be beaten. Max Verstappen can be beaten.
They're not invincible.
They're not invincible. And it's like, okay, like, all the drivers kind of get some like renewed hope in them. And they're just like I'm really hoping that Carlos, Lando, George, Lewis, and Charles, the top 5, all take this race and then immediately just go, bring it on, fucking Japan. I'm ready to fucking roll. Like,
I hope the last, like, if there's something going on, that I hope these last few races are what we've been missing the entire season. Like, I hope they're drawn out. I hope it's a different winner, because it was so exciting. I will tell you, when I didn't watch qualifying, but when I got the notification, or I saw on Twitter or X, whatever, that they were out of Q2, I was literally like, what?
Yeah.
I turned the volume down on my phone. I never opened up F1 TV so fast in my entire life, because I literally was like, are you for real?
And that was the one thing I wanted to talk about earlier when we were talking about Lawson is who in their right mind, like we were just saying, Liam Lawson has the makings of a good driver, is definitely going to be a good driver. But who in their right fucking mind went into this qualifying session thinking they were going to hear Liam Lawson just knocked out Max Verstappen of Q3?
No.
And it was like, I had watched the recap today of qualifying, and hearing that again, I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, this is insane. Like, I would never think to hear that this season. And it was just like, holy shit, they're out. They're done.
They're out.
Like,
they were out. I saw someone screenshotted like that part of the grid from Liam Lawson down, and it was like, it's a Red Bull family reunion, because you had Liam Lawson, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Max Verstappen, Checo, like all of them right tight knit together. People were like, it's a Red Bull family reunion. No, that was, I don't want to wish ill upon them, but I kind of hope they have issues again because
Yeah,
it shows, like we said, they're not invincible. They can be. They're human.
Yes, they're human. They can lose. They can make mistakes and everything. And the team can make mistakes, and the drivers can make mistakes. And it's like, you're right. I'm not sitting here. We're not sitting here and saying, I hope that they get into a crash or they suck for the rest of the season and everything. But just having that glimpse of somebody different winning and somebody even different in the top 5, like no Red Bull in the top 5 was so just refreshing to see, and it was so nice. Like,
and at one point I thought, I was like, okay, they're gonna come back. It's gonna be typical Max. He's gonna come right back. But I think the closest he got was like top 4.
I saw when I turned on the race and I saw Max P11, I was like, I'm giving him 15 laps before he's top 3. I was like, that's what I'm going to give him. But you know what fucked them over? It was the safety car. It was the safety car.
Yes.
Fucked them over. And
Charles Leclerc.
They went way too long on their tires.
The hards.
And once the safety car was in, every lap they went without boxing after the safety car went in, they were just making it worse and worse and worse on themselves.
Yeah, their tires were shot.
Yeah, there's a radio message where Max literally popped on. He was like, it feels like I'm driving on ice. And it's like, they knew they had to come in, but they were like, at one point, we have to bite this bullet of just like, we're not going to win this race.
Yeah, it wasn't theirs.
And it felt like in that interim, in that time between the safety car going in and them boxing, it was just Red Bull race strategists were just scrambling to figure out a way that they could win this race. And then by the time they boxed, I think they all just kind of like, they put their hands up and they're like, we can't do it. Like, we can't do it.
I feel like they were hoping for like a full red flag. So like everyone came in. That's what they were totally waiting for, but obviously they didn't get it. I mean, the safety car wasn't good for everyone. I mentioned them. It wasn't good for Charles Leclerc, but we'll get to Ferrari. Obviously, they're the team of the weekend. But yeah, like we talked about Liam Lawson. You said he outqualified Max Verstappen. He obviously beat Yuki because Yuki again had such. You can't even blame these two retirements on Yuki. They're not him. So I missed what happened to Yuki, but apparently Checo ran into him.
There was some contact, yeah.
So pictures came out of Yuki's car after the race. The hole was pretty massive.
Yeah.
Like, not on the level that Checo had the hole in his car after the one race, but, like, he had damage, Yuki. Yeah. But he literally, like, the last 2 races can't even get through one lap. It's so bad.
See, there was a clip of the collision. It was from, I'm pretty sure it was from Piastri's car, because you can see Checo and Yuki in front of him.
Yeah, so I think Gasly
and
was
you
behind.
See them make the contact, and then it's like maybe 30 seconds after that contact, Yuki's out. And it's like, damn it. Like,
yeah.
And you're right. You absolutely you cannot blame it on him. Like, sure, you could maybe make the argument of like, oh, well, he did make contact with Perez, but like from what I saw and what I remember of the race, it was more so Checo.
Perez.
But yeah, but like, again, like, we're not in the cockpit of the cars. Like it could easily be, both on them or more Yuki or whatever. But like, yeah, you just have to feel some form of sadness.
Well, and I'm shocked they didn't play Yuki's radio message 2 weeks in a row. That man has some explosive radio messages, and they didn't play it after he retired.
Love his radio messages.
You never know what you're getting with Yuki, but maybe he was just like, are you for real? Like, what's happening? He just had to give up. No, I felt so bad for Yuki. But yeah, shout out to Liam Lawson. Should have been driver of the day. Hopefully, obviously, Liam Lawson's racing again in Japan, and most likely Qatar. Which I think that is the last race he can race Qatar before the Super La Formula season picks back up again. So that's why they're obviously not going to ask Nick DeVries to come back. So they're probably like Daniel Ricciardo, you've got to be ready to go.
That'd be really weird on their part if they did that.
Yeah. They're not doing that. Can you imagine if I was Nick DeVries, I would just decline their calls. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm at Harvard enjoying my time.
Yes.
But yes, we will continue. I want to talk about, obviously I said Ferrari. Mercedes.
Let's do Ferrari last.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Obviously we can talk about Alpha, Alpine, and then work our way up.
Okay.
So, obviously, Alfa Romeo, I don't even remember, not going to lie, I wasn't paying attention to them when I watched it back because the action was, for once, at the front of the pack.
Yep.
They weren't paying attention to the middle races for a while. It was all that top 5.
I
totally missed.
Deeper on the leaderboard than, like, 7th. So.
Yeah. Like, it didn't matter. But when they said that Max Verstappen wasn't even going to catch Leclerc, I was like, okay. Like, it's not going to matter. But yeah, I totally missed. I feel like with Esteban Ocon the week before, I totally missed Valtteri Bottas DNF'd. I went back and watched the interview with him post race on F1 TV. So he retired lap 51.
All right.
And he said that his car was overheating, so they just pulled him in. That was a new. I wasn't going to do well, but we'll talk about it later. Charles Leclerc was also having overheating issues, so those Ferrari power engines weren't surviving well in Singapore.
Not doing too hot.
No, yeah. So obviously not a good weekend for Alfa Romeo, but they really haven't been very noticeable this whole season. Oh, there was other weekly news. They'd announced that Zhou Guanyu will stay on for next year. So
yes,
we got those two for now.
Was that announced before?
It was literally. It was announced like Wednesday, I think, like right before media day.
Okay.
But yes, so that's literally probably the only memorable thing of their weekend is those two.
Good for Zhou Guanyu though.
Yeah, because I was worried that he was going to be out of seat. Like, he's in the Alfa Romeo. I don't think that Alfa Romeo is a great car. So why? Like, it's not. He also was good last year, and then I think ever since that Silverstone crash, he hasn't been the greatest. But that Silverstone crash was scary. It's understandable that it took him up a little bit. So, but yes, and then Alpine, another retirement for Esteban Ocon. It's his 6th of the season. The poor kid can't catch a break, and this time it was on his birthday.
That's bad. That's real bad.
So bad. So bad. So I was trying to think. So we had this week, last week in Monza that no one knew about. He DNF'd. Correct. You had Australia when they double DNF'd.
Right.
They double DNF'd again another race. I'm gonna look it up.
I'm opening up the app to see if I can figure it out. That is just. I didn't realize it was his birthday either. That's
Yeah, that's when Martin Brundle interrupted him.
Oh, that's right.
And he said,
that's right.
Esteban, happy birthday.
Let's see.
He did in the Hungary. He did in Hungarian GP. I'm trying to figure out. Okay,
first race of the year, Bahrain. He DNF.
Yeah, Bahrain. I forgot.
So there's your 1. We're up to 5 now. Australia,
Hungary, Bahrain, Monza, Singapore. What's the other one? There's one more. Obviously not Monaco. We know he was.
No, he finished in Spain. He finished in Canada. He finished in Australia or Austria.
No, we didn't.
Great Britain, Silverstone.
Yeah.
Silverstone.
6 DNFs for the poor
60
Ocon, man.
Not good.
I mean, Alpine has had a lot in general because obviously there's 2 double DNF weekends in a row for both of them. But yeah, Ocon's had 6. Let me bring it back on. Yeah, what did it say? Trying to see when he went out. He went out pretty early.
It'll tell you on their website, actually. It'll tell you on how many laps he completed.
On whose website? F1's
On
website?
F1's website. Here, I'll tell you, because I'm pulling it up now.
Oh, here we go. S1 Ocon stopped Alpine's present opportunity, and the following virtual safety car ensured that both Mercedes drivers could pull in for a cheaper pit stop on lap 44. Yeah, okay, so 44.
Yeah.
The
website has it listed as 42.
Oh yeah, he caused the virtual safety car. Yuki called the full safety car.
Yep.
That's right. Okay. That makes sense, but still. Awful luck. And Pierre Gasly wasn't very noticeable either.
Unnoticeable. Again, I hate to say it, but like anybody past like 7th did not focus, nor did I care about. Like,
but even if you go back and watch like the highlights of practice, they're not even showing them. They're literally showing the top 5 battle the entire time.
Right, yeah.
That's what they're showing. Because like I don't even have anything listed here for Haas and Williams because I don't know what happened to Haas. All I know is that Haas had both drivers into Q3. That's the only thing. They both were in Q3.
Yes.
Did you also notice that it was a kids broadcast again this weekend?
All right, you know what? I did notice that. I went to ESPN at one point, the ESPN app, and I almost turned it on. Because I saw it on there, and I was like, I should watch that one. That would be really fun. And then I just went to F1 TV.
The kids, I didn't know it was a kids one. I was so annoyed. I was like, come on. I hope they do one more.
If there is another one, I definitely will watch it, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch just them the entire time. But yes, I saw the like little opening when they do like the grid positions and they have like their cartoon characters. Yeah. And it was like, Charles Leclerc, who hasn't won a race from 3rd ever.
Damn.
Like, wow, kids, just roast them.
Way to roast the shit out of them.
Yeah. But yeah, so obviously Williams and Haas, I can't tell you anything. Aston Martin, well, I'll note this before we talk about Aston Martin and McLaren. So McLaren can officially overtake Aston Martin in the standings. And Aston Martin could end up finishing 5th after how exciting their season started. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this because it's not in your notes. Oscar Piastri had a fantastic race. He went from 17th
yeah, he
to
did.
7th. Like
another person who could have been driver of the day. Yeah. He was killer.
Such a good race. I said, again, I didn't notice that as he was racing. My focus was a lot on Lando because I wanted him to win. But afterwards, I was reading through some tweets and everything, and people were like, one other star of this race is Oscar Piastri. Went 17th to 7th. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, good for Oscar. Like,
yeah, no, he killed it. He was exciting. So McLaren's currently in 5th with 139 points. And Aston Martin is in 4th with 217 points.
Catch them.
I mean, if the rumors are true and Aston Martin has one less driver racing this weekend, I don't know if they would let Felipe Drugovich race the whole time, but yeah. Just after the hype that started with Fernando Alonso, I would be annoyed if I was Lawrence Stroll.
You've got 7 races left. Oh, you can easily catch
It's happening. It's happening.
Catch them.
Zach Brown is going to run down that
he'll be so happy.
Track. No, it's 100% happening. But yeah, speaking of Aston Martin, as we all know, wasn't a great race for Fernando Alonso, but Lance Stroll and that insane, wild crash.
Yeah, that looked brutal.
In qualifying. So when I went back to watch it, I was like, how? Because the first time I only saw the clip was him just going into the barrier.
Yeah.
So he lost it the corner before.
Yeah.
And then went across. He goes up in the air. Before he's spinning.
He comes around the one corner. He's making a right. And then I'm forgetting what turn it is. I'm trying to pull up the map to see. I think it's. Was it 9 to 10? Was it?
It was right near the end. It was right at the end.
So is it 16, 17?
It's literally because this video is literally they're turning he's on like the grid places far back.
Oh, so it's
Right at the
18,
end.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. So he comes around 18 and just like, I don't know if he went a little bit over the line and just lost all grip in the one tire. But yeah, he starts to like the back starts to slide out from underneath him. And then when he goes into the wall, the momentum of hitting the wall just makes him spin and it just tears the front wheel. I think it was the front. I guess
the front half of the car.
Front left tire came like flying, like wing came off and everything. The whole nose was destroyed. And I was like, holy shit.
The whole back wing, I have a video up of it now. The whole back wing is like bouncing. That is a scary crash. He almost toppled.
He almost flipped, but like luckily, like the view, if you watch the view from his cockpit and
that's what I just said.
Look at him, you can see him. He's pretty good. Like he hits and then just stays like this. And like he's not like whipping all over the place or anything. And obviously I know they're like tucked in really tight and it's still gonna, he's still gonna be hurt from that. But he looks pretty secure, which is a good sign and everything. And I think he was able to get out of the car like right away. And
he was able to get out.
Yeah.
That's what he was moving. That's what Charles Leclerc pulls by and like slows down to see if he's okay. And he's like, oh, he's moving. And like he keeps going. But yeah, it ended Q1. And then we all know he didn't race because I can only imagine. I mean, that car did its job. We were talking about before. Like, it kept his legs and everything protected. Like, the nose of the car, the casing of his seat kept him protected. But I can't even imagine because of his wrist to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, what happened with Daniel Ricciardo. That's probably why he was also, like, trying not to move so he didn't bang his wrist. But, he ended up not racing, which I think was a smart move. It's not like he's in the spot for a championship position, so
right. You're not like
not the end of the world.
Better decision by Aston Martin just to kind of give him his rest and everything. Not that I think even if they were like, "Hey, would you want to race?" I don't think he would even be able to. But just with like, because I don't know how long it takes to repair the car, from that and everything. Like, what do they do?
They would have had to build a whole new car. He probably would have had a grid penalty anyway and start from the pit lane because they would have worked past like curfew hours. So it was worth it to just start and have more time to fix the car for this week. Because I know they all mostly went to Japan right away. So they had time to probably work on the car and make sure it's better.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, nothing really else. That was the biggest, I feel like, story of the weekend. Like we said, Fernando Alonso wasn't noticeable. Now, my conspiracy theory, before we get into the top three, I didn't think of it. Someone apparently posted it, and then this other podcast I listened to called, wait, I don't want to get their name wrong. Hold on.
Make sure we give them a proper shout out.
Yeah, they're called Fan Behavior F1 Podcast. It's two girls. They're really, I love listening to them stuff. So they've talked about Alex Albon and his shoes that came out. Correct. He gave pairs to drivers. Some of them wore them in the paddock. He wore them in the paddock. Obviously, didn't do very well. Yuki Tsunoda wore them in the paddock. DNF'd. Fernando Alonso wore them in the paddock. Did not do well. So, is there a curse with Alex Albon's shoes?
Oof. I'd be giving those shoes right back if I was anybody who wore them. I'd be like, here you go. I don't want these anymore.
Maybe Max Verstappen opened the box, and that's why he ended up doing well.
He touched them a little bit. He just didn't put them on.
Yeah, he touched them. He didn't put them on. Yeah. But yes, that was I thought it was interesting. I didn't even realize. I love when people catch on to those things. But it's because he was posting the pictures of the people wearing the shoes. So he was like a proud dad. Like Fernando Alonso, during the driver's parade, had them on. And he was pointing down at his feet.
Right.
But yes. So that was interesting. I wanted to point that out. Moving on to the top three. Guess we can go in order because I feel like you have to talk about McLaren with Ferrari because of Carlos and Lando. Yes. But right before, so now there's a battle for P2 with Ferrari and Mercedes. Ferrari has a total of 265 points and Mercedes has 289. So without
this is
this is good.
This is what I wanted.
Yes.
the battle for second place and make it close. Make it 24 points close. Like
that could be this weekend. Like Mercedes could double DNF, then Ferrari could run away. Like
exactly.
This is exciting. We're finally getting like those end of the season battles. It's gonna be because
the battle's on from here on out.
Red Bull's running away with it. So obviously, but yeah, with how crappy Ferraris and Mercedes season both started, the fact that they overtook Aston Martin and now could be finishing second and third. So, could you imagine if like Aston Martin has an awful weekend and McLaren gets double points, and then it's a battle for third with 3 teams?
Please. Oh, that'd be good.
That'd be so exciting.
It'd be such a fun fight to watch.
Yeah. But yes, Mercedes. Obviously, what were we gonna say?
Go ahead.
We talked about George's last lap
crash is what he's trying to pronounce.
It's a tongue twister. Yes, we always talked about it. It's depressing because he was driving so well.
He was
going to be on the podium. He was going
to be on the podium. He was going to overtake Lando, and like I was like watching the interviews and everything, and Lando says like, I'm very grateful for Carlos kind of slowing down, giving him that DRS again to kind of pull away a bit and protect from Mercedes. But watching that race, watching those last couple laps, I was like, Lando's going to get third. Lando's going to get fourth at worst, because if George takes him, there's a solid chance that Lewis overtakes him too, because the Mercedes were flying out there. And it's just, when I saw the clip that George got on like his tire clipping the wall, and then you saw the smoke, and I literally was like,
you just knew.
I was like, oh my God. Like, and then this is bad on my part, because I didn't even think of George. I didn't even think like, oh, I hope he's all right. I immediately was like, oh God, now Lewis is on Lando.
You were more worried about the McLarens. No, because did you see the video from, I think it's from Lando's like rear wing, and you just see George go like just go off the track.
He locks up after clipping the wall a little bit, and just goes right into the wall, and is like, it's like I said earlier, it was brutal, like gut wrenching listening to his message or his radio, and him just being like, no, and I was just like, I know that feeling of just like last minute losing something like that you were just chasing so hard, and it's just like, damn it, I feel so bad. But then again, at the same time, I'm like, okay, Lando P2, like let's go, let's go.
No, George was on Lando's tail. George would have been P2, but it's just the fact that, a crash in the F1 is obviously the worst, but the crash that, like, he did the full race, and it's not just any normal F1 race, it's like Singapore, the worst, like, most physically taxing one of the season, and you get through the whole weekend and then crash out on the last lap.
Literally on, like, the last lap.
Lap.
I was, like I said, just watching him fly into that wall. I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't imagine just the despair going through his mind. Like, the split second of time that just slowed down for him as he was flying into that wall. And, like, his only thought had to have been just like, I cannot believe this is how this race is ending for me. Like,
no, it probably was, like, the slowest, like, 0.5 seconds on the planet. Like, he probably could, like, see everything. No, I would have been crying if I was him. I understand if he was crying. I'm not judging him, because that is the worst. It's like any brutal sports team losing, like, a major game in the last like seconds. Like, it's just, that's awful. But yes, then you had on the other end, and they could have picked up decent points. They would have
great points.
They would have had a better lead over Ferrari in P2, but after George eventually retired in the last lap of the race, obviously Lewis on the podium, and he got third. What which was interesting to see after. I saw clips of the podium. I wasn't really paying attention because I was paying attention to the Lando Carlos bromance of it all.
Right.
That no one from Mercedes was at the podium for Lewis.
I don't think I noticed that either.
So if you look, there's pictures everywhere now. There's pictures of him like sitting on his tire, like waiting for an interview. No one's around him. There's pictures of him celebrating with the McLaren mechanics and the Ferrari mechanics. Apparently it's not the first time they've done it this season, that they've like not gone and celebrated with him. And you get to see he looked. And then like when he's on the podium, they give him the trophy. Obviously it's third place. He's used to winning week in and week out. Like, he's not like jumping up and down and celebrating, but he looks just like depressed. Like he's just holding his trophy like, woo.
He did when he got handed the trophy. And he does, like you're saying, right, like it's not a first place. He's used to winning, races and getting first and having this outstanding career, which not saying he's not, but obviously it's less than what he's had in the past. When he just held up the trophy and he just did like 2 quick pumps with it, I remember watching that and I was like, you look sad. Like, and I thought
no one was there.
I attribute it to getting the third place. Like, that's what I tied it to. And I was like, all right, you're a little bummed about that. That makes sense. But then I didn't realize that.
That's what people were like. Maybe it was because like George's car, and people were like, George's car was not back that fast. Like George's car probably took a good hour to come back to the garage after because of all the post race celebrations. Yeah, no one was there. If you look, there's like a picture, maybe one person, but he's like all the way in the back of the crowd.
Well,
Lewis
one
was alone.
person, you're not going to force your way through that crowd.
Lewis was alone.
That's brutal. That is.
And I think McLaren might have, or he posted. Lewis posted, and like you can even tell, like in the pictures. Let me see if I can find Hamilton.
What in the pictures? He just looks like bummed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Hold on. I'm gonna screenshot it and I can bring him up. But yeah, I felt bad for Lewis. Yeah, he just looks upset, and like his caption. Every weekend we fight together as a team, and it's always a tough battle. First, huge props to George. Had an amazing drive all weekend. Deserved to be on the podium. Unfortunate for him not to finish, but he will bounce back. I'm so proud of the work this team did this weekend. The commitment we have is incredible. My race was strong, and I'm fully focused on improving in the quality for the rest of the season. This was he posted this a good bit after the race. So this last line goes, "Thank you all for the unbelievable support. I see you." Because it was immediate. People were like, he was alone.
Yeah.
Like people were like, he had no one. Hold on,
That's wild.
This is the one. Yeah, this is the one picture that just looks sad. My AirDrop is so slow. Ever since I updated my phone.
Did you update your laptop yet?
No. But yeah, I felt.
Yeah, that's not a good look for.
And so, and then apparently he has 196 podium appearances, so he's close to 200. He could get 200 this year, and people are like, yeah, they'll all show up then and do like this whole like.
Oh, of course they will.
Big celebration for him. It's not working, so I was trying to see if I can find it. But yeah, that's what they're like. They'll obviously show up for him then, but all this stuff. But yeah, so I did feel bad. But then, yeah, moving on from Mercedes to McLaren, and I guess like Ferrari, we can just talk about it one at a time because I feel like we said, you have to talk about the bromance together at one time because of the teamwork that they did. That's my biggest gripe with it all. Okay. I guess we'll start with Charles Leclerc.
I guess we have to talk about Ferrari.
Charles Leclerc, who George Russell saw from the beginning, he said, they're sacrificing Leclerc for Carlos. He knew it from the beginning. They told him to pull back, create a gap. People were like, well, he created the gap too much. That's why he screwed himself over with traffic during the safety car. No, he was told to create the gap. And then it came out, if you look at the telemetry, the data, he started having engine problems, started having overheating. So that's why he dropped so far back from the top 4 by the end, because he couldn't keep up. So I've already am assuming there's a grid penalty coming this weekend for him in Japan. It's coming. I have a feeling. Because of Charlotte Claire, it's going to happen.
They'll have to replace parts, yeah.
Yes. And obviously said Oscar Piastri, P17 to P7. The two teammates in this all, because I think there was a silent gentleman's agreement if one of them was in first, they weren't going to fight each other for it, because I think so they could
really
get the win.
Going on there.
They had something going on. To the fact when Carlos said, when they came over and said, he's like within a certain amount of gaps for DRS, he goes, yeah, it's on purpose. Like,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Carlos just knew. I think there was because they're so close.
I have to give Carlos credit for this race because.
No, I do too. He drove like a maniac all weekend.
And this fight, this race, for lack of a better term, felt like a brains versus brawn battle. And Carlos used his brain, and it fucking worked. And it worked so well. And it was really fun to watch because it was such an outward display of race intelligence. And it was like, no, I'm not just going to go all out and try to build a gap between me and everybody else. He was like, no, I want to keep Lando a little bit behind me. Not enough that he's going to overtake me, but I want to keep him a little bit behind me. For a good battle. So that way Mercedes has more cars to go through to get to me. And it's just like, holy shit. And it was like the one thing I saw, I was going to do it with my meme of the week before I saw the Google Maps one. It was like the Drake meme where he's like pointing at, he's like, the top image is him like looking away, and then the bottom image is his pointing at something. And him looking away was like, win a race by driving faster, and then him pointing at the next thing was win a race by driving slower. And it's like, yeah, I have to give Carlos credit for it. Like,
yeah, no, the whole weekend he was in charge of his own strategy. I will give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it's just like,
yeah.
it does suck about Charles, because I was hoping that Ferrari in general could get Charles up to get a little bit more points. But
now that you go back and see the data that he was actually having full-on issues, and that was a lot of people. That was a lot of people's like gripe with the broadcast after, with the Sky Sports people. They didn't mention it once, and they were basically kind of blaming Leclerc, falling back on Leclerc. When you just look at the data, take 2 seconds, and you see that the kid was having issues with his car. But there's also conspiracy theory that he was the spokesperson for Sky Italy's Wi-Fi service, and Sky Italy, he did not renew his contract. And ever since then, Sky Italy and Sky Sports have kind of been ripping him on live TV during F1 coverage. Yeah, so there's all that. That was conspiracy theory all over social media.
I need a tinfoil hat, man.
Yeah. We should just rename the F1 podcast the F1 Conspiracy Podcast.
That'd be great.
That's a good segment. F1 Conspiracy.
That is a good segment.
Okay. That's a good one.
What's our latest conspiracy theory?
Yeah. It's probably always going to be about Charlotte Claire.
And you know what? We're going to call it Casey's Conspiracies.
Yeah. There you go.
You have history with Owen. You have Casey's Conspiracies. This is great.
Yes. So
show is growing live on air, people.
You're seeing it here first. But yeah, I wanted that double podium for Ferrari. They could have picked up good points.
Yeah.
Amazing points. But yeah, obviously it just didn't work out. I mean, P4 after George crashes is still pretty good.
That's still good. Yeah,
he would have been
don't get me
P5.
wrong. Ferrari got good points, but yeah, you would have loved to have seen
especially because how well they qualified.
Yes, you would have loved to have seen the podium, because you would have loved to have seen all that hard work from qualifying and the whole entire weekend as a whole payoff. But yeah, P4 is still a very good place, but it was just like, and I mean, he was in that fight, Charles. He was in that fight for the top 5, and yes.
Oh yeah.
Until he started having like engine problems because it was overheating. You know, he definitely pulled.
And after the safety car.
Yeah, and he definitely you kind of could feel the like mentality switch of like, okay, I'm in this fight for top 5. I want to be in this mix as much as I can. Switching to then, okay, I'm in 5th. I'm struggling a little bit with the car. I'm good with 5th. Like,
Yeah.
and then like you said,
No.
because George crashes, he gets 4th. So it's like, all right, you still finished pretty good, but like, yeah, you would have loved to have seen.
Get a point by, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I also saw, because there's also a bunch of Ferrari basically said that Carlos won by himself. Carlos didn't create the gap by himself at the beginning of the race. That was Charles Leclerc.
Not at all.
Because Charles Leclerc was instructed to create the gap, to keep them close together or slow down.
Yeah.
It was specifically that's when George Russell was like, I think they're going to sacrifice Leclerc.
Yeah.
And he saw it from the beginning. That's the whole thing with people on Twitter, Charles Leclerc fans versus Carlos Sainz fans. Because Ferrari in general is now saying that Carlos didn't have any help. Carlos literally thanked Lando Norris on national TV. Ferrari tweeted, thanks, Lando. Nothing about Charles Leclerc creating the gap at the beginning of the race to set up Carlos for after the safety car and forward to then work. Which I get it. I'm not taking anything away from Carlos Sainz, but Charles Leclerc did stuff. He didn't just like DNF and not finish. Like he helped you out, show appreciation. But I think the writing's on the wall that Carlos Sainz is on his way out, so it's okay. But yeah, no, Lando, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I didn't see.
So happy.
I didn't see the start. Did it say who didn't get a good start? George didn't get a good start. Did he fall back at first?
I was like making coffee and breakfast off the start. I think so. I can't remember. Let me look. Let me just do a quick little YouTube search. I will want to say in the interim as we're looking at this. I am so tired of these third alternate livery designs coming out and being so much cooler than the regular.
Oh, the Williams.
Designs.
Well, we didn't talk about how
the
cool.
McLaren.
Oh, you like the McLarens, like the night one?
McLaren's was the stealth, and I was like, first of all, that sounds badass. That sounds like a fucking Batmobile right there. And then it's like, we're gonna do it all black, and there's just gonna be like little tidbits and highlights of orange in it, and it's like, yes, like that.
And then Lando's all black helmet was sick.
Oh, it was so good. And then the Williams one.
George is not gonna go. George doesn't get a good start because Lewis goes right off.
George. And we combined George and Lewis into Jewish. Charles gets in front of George, like almost immediately. And then George and Lewis go wheel to wheel going into the first turn, and that's where Lewis goes off. And then he has to give the position back to George, and he also gave the position back to Lando as well.
Yes, because I forgot, because I thought I saw qualifying, and I forgot that Leclerc was P2, and then George came in right at the end and got P2. So yeah, Leclerc overtook George at the beginning. He did not have a good start, but yes,
he was going back. Leclerc was in front of George before the first turn. Like he right off the bat just got a good jump and was beating him to the turn.
Until the safety car. That's what Leclerc was P2 until the safety car and the pit stops. But yes, going back, that Williams livery, thank God we get it for 2 more races. That's the best livery they could have. It's so good. And the race suits
is so nice. The race suits are so nice.
Oh.
It's just something like Williams was, I think, my favorite livery. Plain livery. Because of the blue. And I said this at the start of the season too.
And the battery.
And the battery. The battery's a cool touch. Durso, we love you if you're listening. I always thought that Williams had the coolest livery because of the blue. It was just enough like uniqueness in it that it was like, this is a good design. But when they dropped the pictures of the Williams livery, of the golf livery,
beautiful.
I was like, fucking keep that. Like
beautiful.
The sky blue with the orange highlights. Gorgeous.
Like the original Williams livery gives New York Islanders. Clearly. Yes. It's like if New York Islanders adopted the baby blue. Like they would be so much. It was just I literally was on Williams' website looking at the merch because I loved it so much. I was like, I want the special livery merch.
Like the same feeling as, and you're gonna bust my balls here, but like I've always said, Camaro was my favorite car, right? Favorite road car. But there's something about a baby blue or like a sky blue Ford Mustang that just looks good. And the Williams tapped into that
so good
with this design. And you saw it and you were just like, yeah. You're like, that's it. Like that's the answer right there. You're like, that looks so good.
No, and the Williams, that livery might be my favorite of the entire season. It might be. I like the Alfa Romeo Italian flag, but this one takes the cake.
The McLaren one, something about the name definitely played into it too when they dropped it and they were like, here's our stealth livery. Like it just added that extra layer to the black that you were like, this is badass, this is cool. But I think just going from the like overdone, over-sponsored livery to just this sleek black with a tiny bit of orange, you're just like, like again, like different color scheme, but that's the answer right there. Like
so
that
good.
Works. Like
I'm trying to see how much. I think they have it for an extra. I don't think they have it. I think they have it for more than. Yeah, they have it for this weekend too for Japan.
Good. I would love if like McLaren came out with like a model car of that livery or something. Oh my god, I'm buying that in an instant.
Well, they probably will.
Absolutely buying that in an instant.
Well, like, and the all black race suits, like they just looked. I don't think
so good.
Did Oscar have a special helmet? I can't think. Yeah, he just added like a little glitter, but Lando's like all black, like sparkly helmet. It was so good. It was really good. That was they killed it. McLaren does normally give us some good liveries, but that Williams one, 100% top notch, the best one. But yes, anything else you want to add about McLaren, your favorite team on the planet?
I don't think so. I just think
Lando Norris boys.
Now I'm searching up McLaren. What is it? Oh, limited edition stealth mode merch. Oh my god, yes.
It's probably like $70 for a hat.
37 pounds, I think, for a shirt. I don't know what that is, but regardless. But no, I don't have anything.
It's $45 in US dollars.
That's not bad. They do have limited edition McLaren F1 60th edition tokas. They're sunglasses. They're 110 pounds. So that's definitely like that's a heck of a purchase. But
but the t-shirt, no, they killed it with that one. I'm happy we get it for one more race too. So
yeah.
Even though Japan's not a night race, but it will be.
Maybe I'll get a McLaren golf hat. There you go.
That's what we need. Need Lando Norris come out with golf merch.
yeah, you do.
Lando, I'll clip this video and post it to him. Lando,
there's
golf merch.
There's a golf accessories right on their website. They have head covers. Oh my god. I might get one of these. Oh, they're very expensive. They're very expensive. Never mind.
To go with Formula Uno, put it on the bridal shower registry. She won't know.
Yeah, there you go. I really want them to update their Lego livery. I really want them to update it. Because it's the 2022 livery, which looks good because it's the orange and the blue. But I think the black and the orange would just look so much better.
We are biased to the orange and black.
I am biased to orange and black. You are correct.
McLaren, can you do something cool with like the flyers? Then you really would make Owen's day.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Listen, you could have Gritty come out. You have Gritty come out to the Austin GP.
Oh, they have a cool Miami 2022 poster. It's pretty cool.
They do normally have good posters. But yes.
But yeah,
so I don't think
I'm done. Other than that.
Yeah, I don't think anything else. Obviously, the main theme of the week was the win streak is over.
The win streak is over.
But moving on to Japan, aka Suzuka. I love saying it. Suzuka. Or aka Yuki Tsunoda's home race. So I hope he doesn't DNF. I will cry for him if he DNFs at his home race. There is a home race curse, and I hope it doesn't happen for him.
That would be really upsetting.
But yes, the timings for this week, aka Team No Sleep, because it's like in the afternoon on September 20th there right now. So put that out there. So practice 1, September 21st. September 21st, practice 1, 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Doable, not the end of the world.
That's not bad. Yeah.
No. Practice 2, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Oh, I have to switch it because that would be September 22nd. I have to fix that. Then September 22nd, later on, practice 3, 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Again, not bad. Qualifying 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. On the 23rd, and then the race is on September 24th at 1 a.m. with 5 laps. Suzuka is a cool track layout.
Suzuka is a cool track layout.
Yeah. It's 18 turns with 53 laps. We all remember where we were last year with Suzuka when it rained and they left the tractor on the circuit. There was like a 45, and Pierre Gasly literally was like cursing on air. Like, I was like into F1 last year, obviously, but I didn't like stay up. Like this year, I'll stay up. But I remember trying to watch, like laying in my bed, and I was like, I just want to go to sleep because it was like a 45-minute red flag.
Yeah.
And like Charlotte Leclerc and Pierre Gasly were going through it last year after that. But yes, there's one DRS zone and one speed trap. They're literally in the same exact spot, almost. The lap record is from 2019 with Lewis Hamilton. He won a 130, almost 131. And then the past 2 winners, well, there was no GP in Japan for 2021 because of COVID. So last year's winner was Max Verstappen, and that was when he was crowned world champion. Remember? And that was also the confusion after that at the end of the race. Like, He didn't know if he could sit on the chair they had for him, like the throne. It was very confusing.
Confusing.
Does Red Bull bounce back? Could they win it all again this weekend? We don't know. I mean, we do kind of know, but
I think so, but I hope not.
Prediction
what
time.
I'll say. Go ahead.
Oh wait, hold on. I wanted to see because we've had rain almost but it didn't rain for quali this week in Singapore, right?
No, it did not. No.
I think it was raining when people were getting there.
There was at one point, George Russell got a radio message saying that there was going to be rain in like 10 minutes, but then it never came.
Why is he always the one that's going to rain? Say it's going to rain first.
I don't know.
There
you had Crofty got a camera on the Mercedes pit wall with their radar, and there was a cloud on there, but it was like 20 minutes away, and I was like, they're not worried about that. Like,
so Friday during the day, it says 100% chance of rain. It says rainfall is near half an inch.
Nice.
In Suzuka. Saturday it said a 50% chance of rain. Oh no, I'm back on media. Yeah, then Sunday there was nothing. But yes, so there could be rain for practice. They could not get practice sessions. But yes, predictions. You can go first. You just do.
I am gonna have to go with. I know it's gonna be boring. I know I say it every week. I have to go Max on P1. I just don't think that he is gonna allow 2 weeks in a row of getting off a podium. No podium appearance. So gotta go Max P1. Do I go biased? I think
go biased. I always go biased.
Here's what I'll say. I'll say someone also coming back with a vengeance. George Russell.
Oh, that's not who I thought.
I think coming back with a vengeance.
P2. Ooh, P2.
Yeah, P2. And then I will say, to make it interesting, and to give Red Bull the jump, but not secure it for them, Checo P3.
Okay.
Because actually, I don't know what it is, because they did get points. So even if they do that, they might. Yeah.
I think even if they both have to end on the podium, I think.
And then, you know what? Then I'm going to change it. I'm going biased Lando P3.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to go I'm going to go delusional and think they're not going to bounce back and that there's
Okay.
going to be issues. I'm going to go. You ready? I'm going to go Lando P1. And I think the world would implode. Lando P1. My P2 is also going to be someone coming back with a vengeance. And I'm going to also, because I feel have to, P2, Charles Leclerc.
Fair.
And then P3. Okay, let's say, Max Verstappen P3. I think they don't have as bad of issues as this week, but they're not P1. So
They're coming.
Lando,
they're slowly
Leclerc,
climbing back up.
Max Verstappen. Yeah.
I like it.
And I say Yuki and Lawson end in the points. Big weekend for AlphaTauri.
Big weekend for AlphaTauri. Yuki lasts more than 3 laps. Big weekend for AlphaTauri.
Yeah, big weekend. Big weekend. But yes. So those are my predictions.
All right.
So you have Max, George Russell,
and Lando.
I have Lando, Leclerc, Max.
I almost like your predictions better.
Mine?
Just because Lando's P1, but we'll see. We'll see.
You would be awake, or you won't be awake, and I'll text. Lando was going to win, and you're not going to be watching, and I'm going to be texting you and be like, turn your TV on now.
I would ask you to call me. If he is going to win that race, you need to call me.
Okay.
And wake me up, and I will go watch that race.
I'll give you 10 laps to turn it on so you can see the last lap celebration.
Yeah.
And it's going to be where you go, and you're watching Lando Norris win.
I'll be right back.
You're going to think something's wrong. No, Lando Norris is going to win.
That's my favorite guy is going to win this race finally.
Finally.
I'm going to have a dream about this now and then think it's real.
Yeah.
Get bamboozle myself.
But yes, that's all, folks. Just kidding.
We cannot say that legally.
No, we cannot. But yes, do you want to close it out? The numbers are updated.
Close us out. Yeah, I checked our YouTube numbers.
All
right. Thank you for joining us on this extra special episode of Max Didn't Win a Race.
Doesn't happen often.
Doesn't happen often. This might be the only one this season, but
yes.
So this is a very special episode.
For the next season also.
Really. Everyone archive this episode, so if you want to remember this feeling for the next 10 plus years, just come back to this episode.
Although I have seen Michael Schumacher still holds the record for a perfect season. Max did not get him. Hold on, I reposted it today.
Great. Now he's gonna now
Michael Schumacher
to go after that next season.
Michael Schumacher remains the only driver with a 100% podium record in a single season after Max finishes P5 in Singapore.
Damn.
Oh, so he just had to finish on the podium each race.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Podium, 100% podium appearances for the year.
Yeah, since he got that P5.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, thank you for joining us for today's episode. If you liked what you're listening to, please give us a follow on our social media at Underground F1 on Instagram and Threads. And then Underground_F1 on Twitter or X. We're still sitting right now at 245 followers on Threads. It's definitely slowed
that's
down
2 more from last week.
Oh, look at that. 2 more from last week. But yeah, we're trying to do anything we can to grow the show, make it better for you guys, make it better for us, more fun, everything. Grow this as much as we can. So please go follow us, interact with us on Twitter and everything. We're tweeting everything on there. So please go follow us. If you have any questions, you want us anything, talk about anything. If you have any questions about Formula One in general, or questions for us, anything that you don't want to put on a social media, please shoot us an email at undergroundf1pod@gmail.com. Again, that's undergroundf1pod@gmail.com. We have that on our phones. We look at it all the time. So please shoot us an email. We would love to hear from you guys. Along with that, too, you can put it in the email, but also make sure if you're going to leave a review for the show, put it on the platform that you watch the show on or you listen to the show on. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave it in the comments below. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please go leave a review on there. If you're listening on Google Podcasts, please go leave a review. Spotify, anywhere you get the show, please do a review. It really, really helps the show grow. Like I said, we would love to hear from you guys. Please also go give our main YouTube page a follow. That is at Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's all one word on YouTube. That is run by Kyle Bennett and all the other guys, part of our network that host these shows. You get our show. You get full video episodes of our show. Get in the Hole with Ben, Steve, and Kyle. You get Top Bins. You get Streamer Season. You get Underground Sports Philadelphia. You get a whole bunch of different shows. So much content on that, and we're pumping out shows like crazy. It's insane, and we're trying to get to 600 subscribers as soon as possible. We're currently sitting at 548, so we're almost there, and then we're also trying to get to 1,000 as quickly as possible as well. So please tell your friends, go give a follow, go give a subscribe. We want to hear from you guys. We want to make this network grow and these shows grow. That's the best way to do it. So. Thank you so much again for listening, and we will see you next week after Japan.
Woohoo, Suzuka.